ending up in the jail at night, and Batavia was just like, this is Aaron DeCoyer. He's our wild like child. Like we love him. He's cool. He's beautiful. He's muscular. He's a cool guy. He has great things to say, and we really don't want to like hurt him in any way. So Batavia was just locking him up and giving him a cell and calling Tessa Ray to come and get him. Like literally calling Tessa Ray to come and get him. You know what I mean? Like I think it was Tessa. Yeah, it was Tessa.
Yeah.
You know, she was like coming and not even bailing him out, like just taking responsibility for him. That's the '80s. Like that's community. You know, crazy.
For sure.
Yeah, there was a lot going on. I didn't even realize. It's just.
There was one night at Aaron DeCoyer's, dude, that we full on experienced a full spectral ghost experience. And like Scott Bracken will tell you it happened because he got possessed. Like we were all so he lived above the Book Nook in Batavia at the top of
on
Wilson
the corner there, Wilson and
31. Yeah. So you got the Book Nook downstairs, a beautiful Victorian building. He's up in the second or third like floor, the top with the outdoor like round like window right out on the intersection. And like, you remember I had that one song on the bass that I was always playing, the
Dude, I got a recording of that, I think.
Okay, yeah. So, but like, freaking, they were doing Doctor Who 22, and they decided that they wanted to use me as a bassist. So I was jamming with, not Aaron DeCoyer, with
Mike
his
Smith?
roommate. I can't remember his roommate right now, but his roommate had had The Cosmic Trigger by, is it Anton LaVey? No, it's not Anton LaVey. By Robert Anton Wilson.
Uh-huh.
So he had Robert Anton Wilson's Cosmic Trigger, and we would just like read from it, like all about like the esoteric and the Illuminati and everything, and then we would jam, and then we'd read about the Illuminati, talk about spiritual stuff, and then jam. I wish I could remember his name. I think his name was Brian.
Harrisman?
Yes. No, it wasn't Brian Arisman. Sorry.
Brian Smith.
But it might have been his brother. It wasn't Arisman. Wait, maybe
Mike,
it is Brian.
Well,
it is
Mike
Brian.
and Brian, yeah.
Okay. So I think it was Brian.
I think Mike passed away like a year ago.
Wow. All right. So
Okay.
we're jamming, and Bracken's in the kitchen. Bracken's just like making SpaghettiOs or something. Nothing crazy. Or maybe he was baking up some brownies. I don't remember. It was SpaghettiOs or brownies. At any rate, we're there, and we hear a car accident. There's no car accident. Like, we go to the window, there's no car accident. We turn away from the window and look at Scott Bracken. He's walked out of the kitchen, and he's standing there going like this. And, like, we heard a ghost car accident outside, and a ghost came in there and, like, went into Bracken, and he's shaking. He doesn't even know that we're all having the same experience. He's come out of the kitchen. He doesn't even know what's going on. It really freaked him out. It was like a night that I think kind of changed Bracken. He didn't really come back, and Bracken, like, I mean, come on, Bracken had like a mohawk. Like Bracken was like the town punk. Like the police wanted to like bust him up, and the school dean certainly wanted to punish him, and we're trying all the time. But he was a bright kid. He was a nice kid. He just wanted to have a good time, And freaking, I think that night changed him. And you'll have to ask him. I saw him at Jeremy Reeves' wedding in like 2013, and he like went on to be a drug rehabilitation counselor, like in Elgin.
I ended up. It's so fucking weird. I almost forgot. I worked for him at his house. Last year. I think.
Yeah, right. He's doing
Last year,
fantastic.
yeah, last year, the year before, yeah, he was working at home, and he was working on his master bedroom or something, and needed some like mudding and taping, drywall work done. And so
Yep.
he's just like, I went over there and I helped him get it all nailed out. Oh, I forgot all about that shit. Yeah, yeah, no, he was,
Doing really good.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Helping lots of people with their addictions and issues, and he paid it forward. Like anything that anything anybody would have come down on him for, which is nothing that's not totally legal today in Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
Like he paid it forward. He made up the difference a lot. And he wasn't any problem to begin with. He was just too smart to play.
Yeah, I mean, we all took a lot of chances for stuff that people can do freely now. Back in our day,
Mm-hmm.
you know, all the weed we smoked. You know, we could have went to prison for this fucking, you know, that stuff. Now people just can go get it,
Right.
you know, legally, and it's like they have no idea what we went through.
He hosted a really great Juxtaposed show as well in his home, in his basement. He was so happy to be hosting it because he was a hardcore member of the family in the factory. So was like Andy Kuhn. I mean, Andy Kuhn like wrote thank you cards to Jesse and Johnny like for like letting him be there, you know? Like everybody was grateful to be there. Like and we're talking about we talk about people like Ferris Bueller. Andy Kuhn was a Batavia Ferris Bueller, and he was bringing greeting cards to the factory and saying thank you. You know, that's what was going down at the factory. You know,
Factory.
it was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah, we did play in his basement, didn't we?
Yeah, and they came and they busted it. Like the police came.
Oh yeah. And I remember
and-
George and Aaron were checking out the cop's ass and shit.
Right?
Because this cop had a big tight ass, you know.
And she was fine with it.
No, it was a guy, dude.
Oh, really? He was. No, but that was a great one because we all found like rafters. We were like all rats. We like all found storage rafters, and we were like up in the attic, and we were like in between walls, and the police are like in there with flashlights. They're pulling us all out. They got us all out into the living room, and there's like, I don't know, there's like 6 cops there. They're like, where's the alcohol? Where's the drinking? There's like no alcohol in the place. And like, they're totally up in your face, Jesse. You're the tallest person in the room. You're standing there. Your eyes are destroyed.
Oh, I was talking shit to them, and they actually they give me a citation because they're like, "What have you been drinking tonight?"
That's
and
right.
I go, I ain't been drinking.
That's right. And they're like, we'll talk about that in a minute. So they put you in the side room. You're standing over there. I think you were with that little short-haired blonde beautician that was working out of West Bank down at the fitness center. I don't remember what her name was, but she's standing in there too. Sorry, Roxanne. I just, you know. And so you're both standing in the little side room, and they start in on me. Well, I had a driver's license that said I was like 275 pounds, because when I was 16, I was. But then I had lost like 50 or 60 pounds, and I was like thin. And they're like, and I didn't have my driver's license on me, so like I'm just giving them my birth date, and they're calling it in on the CB still. I mean, we don't have technology or anything. They're like totally at a disadvantage. That's why we're a community and not like division of powers in the 90s. And they're on this like microphone CB, and they call it back, and they're getting the information off of my like driver's license. It says you're 275 pounds. Who are you? And like I'm Bradford Allen Bound. Like that's what I like said to him. Boom! They grabbed my arms. They got the cuffs behind my back. They marched me out the front door, and they throw me in the back of the car. George is just coming back to the house. He like must have ran away and decided he was going to come back and see what was going on. And he sees them putting me in the back of the car. And he just looked at me. And again, this is George. In those moments, he took it all upon himself. I could see it in his face. All he cared about was me, and he felt 100% responsible, you know? And he went back into the house. And it took like, I don't know, about 45 minutes to an hour and a half to like work things out, call my parents for them to get me out. They let me go because I didn't have anything. I mean, he was probably worried that I had something and that they had got me, you know, but I was totally clean. And so they had to let me go. And when I got back to the studio, he was very relieved. He was upset at me because he figured like I got myself in that situation because he talked to everybody and everybody told him how I acted, you know, but I was out and everything was cool and he didn't have any guilt. And so the night went on. But yeah, that was a good party.
Yeah.
Was that the first place that we played that wasn't the studio then? After Juxtapose had been finally formed with Chris on drums. Because I know we played the first show there. We obviously we christened the studio with the first show for sure. But I remember playing at his house. I just don't remember when that would have been in the timeline. I imagine earlier on. Probably maybe
I think it might have been later on. I don't know.
Really?
It's hard to say. It does feel early, like just because that was really just, that was the beginning of like whatever the Decoyer, like Ray, like Route 31 bar scene, like that was whenever we first started to merge. And so it really started to blow open multi-generational Batavia and everybody was clued in, you know? It was nice.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah. And remember when we went and we
we brought peace. We brought peace to the valley.
Yeah, you did.
Peace and disruption at the same time.
For sure.
Remember when we went and saw 311? It was like everybody was up in Chicago that night checking that show out. That was cool.
So it's a very weird thing because that was the one I wasn't a part of. I had headed into Maywood, Illinois to the Shango Temple of Chicago because I was getting my head readings that night and I got my cleansings done at the Shango Temple of Chicago while you guys were at 311.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. At least you were doing something, you know, that you felt, you know.
Yeah, you weren't sitting at home by yourself.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, it was weird because it was just like, we knew everybody there. It was like all of Batavia was at this show. It was like,
right.
So strange.
You guys moved to the factory to the Cabaret Metro that night.
Yeah.
And it was totally present. I mean, like at that time, you guys even had like Greg Bloom, who was like frequenting the studio, and he was there that night. Kuhn was there. I mean, I know everybody that was there because it's like a show that's broken my heart for years. I still listen to 311 all the time, and wish that I had seen that show. I mean, I saw Rage Against the Machine in Cypress Hill 2 times in that theater in the year before. Like the reason that I missed this show was because like I was seeking something spiritually, you know,
Sure.
and it seemed a fair trade to me.
All right.
So
yeah, I mean, you didn't. It was good.
George,
it wasn't like a life changer for me.
George delivered our demo tape to the drummer of 311. He was spinning around on stage with him and shit, and tossed it up there on his drum riser and shit. But the security
the bodyguards kept trying to get him.
Yeah, they couldn't catch him.
And they wrote back. Honestly, their write back was absolute crap. And that really, I know that upset George a lot. Like, they wrote back, like...
Oh, the Metro did, yeah.
Yeah, they wrote back and they said, like...
they said, I still have the letter, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, I found it.
We put it on the Ludcast. We put it on the Ludcast Instagram. Oh,
Yep.
it kind of sounds derivative of Peter Murphy and somebody else and shit.
And the Mighty Mighty Boss.